Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Senate Committee on Energy, Economic Development, and Tourism. This meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. In the likely event that we have an earthquake, a tsunami, hurricane, this hearing will end due to technical difficulties as well. The committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024 in this room 229, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature website. We have a 1 minute limit per testifier. First up, SCR 97/SR 82, requesting the Hawaii State Energy Office to convene a renewable liquid fuels working group to study local production, development, and incentives for renewable liquid fuels. First testifier up for Office of Energy, Mark. Yes, Mark, sorry.
Chair White, Vice Chair O'Connor, members of the committee, Mark Blake, Chief Energy Officer on behalf of the Energy Office. We stand on our testimony in support of SCR 97 and be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Next up, Myung for Par Hawaii.
Good afternoon, Chair DeCoy, Vice Chair Wakai, Senator Kim. Myung-oh here on behalf of Par Hawaii. We're in support of these resolutions. We do ask that Par Hawaii be listed as a fuel producer to serve as the part of the working group. Also, secondarily, for the committee's consideration, given that there's been a number of various studies being already completed, consider possibly an interim findings, some recommendation prior to the 2025 legislative session. I'll be available for any questions. Thank you.
Next up, Alana James testifying for Hawaiian Airlines.
Hi, good afternoon, Chair DeCoy, Chair Wakai, and members of the committee. My name is Alana James. I'm the Managing Director of Sustainability Initiatives at Hawaiian Airlines. We will stand on our testimony in support. I'm here for any questions. Thank you.
Next up, Lori Lam, Airlines Committee of Hawaii.
Good afternoon, Lori Lam on behalf of the Airlines Committee of Hawaii. We also are in support of these resolutions. We do ask for your consideration of an amendment to include a representative from the ACH to be invited to participate in the working group. The Airlines Committee of Hawaii does represent both domestic and international carriers, and sustainable aviation fuel initiatives are a priority of our industry. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Next up, Julie Yonker testifying for Hawaii Gas in support. Oi Farm Bureau, Brian Miyamoto in support. Albert Chi in support, testifying for Island Energy Services. James Forrest for Pacific Biodiesel Technologies, and Glenn Kagamita also in support. Anybody else wishing to testify on this measure? I see none. Any questions for the committee?
Yeah, I have questions. I'm not sure who can answer this, but jump up if you are able to. And I think it was touched upon that there are a number of studies out there. So with all the studies going on in the different states and what they're doing, what do we hope to get out of this, and that we can't already, that you already know or can look at what others are doing?
Absolutely. So the West Coast does have, Washington State as well as Illinois does have incentives for the production of sustainable aviation fuel. And a lot of the testifiers that you have heard already from ACH and Hawaiian Airlines, it is about incentives. Because the production of renewable, sustainable aviation fuel costs several dollars to produce compared to conventional fossil fuels, it does need incentives. So that is where, through the Hawaii State Energy Office, we can continue to have this dialogue on how much it is required, how many gallons Par Hawaii could produce, as well as Pacific Biodiesel, if they want to get into this field of sustainable aviation fuel.
Yeah, but why do we need another study at the local group? You guys don't have that information? You can't provide
A
that
lot of the
information?
study they've already been done, but I think having all the different variety of parties together can help consolidate and kind of narrow down, kind of like a funnel, right? You have all this information, you have different parties, and we can funnel down to what recommendation is viable for the state of Hawaii.
Can you can you look back and tell me how many of these study groups that we've had that said the exact same thing, and how many we actually had funneled down and paralleled down and then adopted? How many?
Too many to count, Senator.
Right, and too many that end up, we just delaying stuff. A lot of times
Yes.
we do stuff just to delay it. I don't know. if we
This
do it
is really-
consciously, but
Well, hopefully this is related to a couple of measures that were introduced and considered for the legislature this year. And hopefully we can compound that with further discussion using examples based on bills that were introduced this year. So we're not starting from ground up. Rather, there is a level of standard studies already completed and just coming down with recommendations for the state. Given
no,
all.
I totally understand that. And all the years that I've been here, we always look at studies, we pass studies and everything. But it seems to be an excuse for acting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get a working group. Let's go ahead and study it. Let's go ahead and do this. But the information is there, and then you get all these different individuals or different groups that's represented, and then you can't come to a decision. Or, you know, I mean, to me, it stops us because people are afraid to make the tough decisions, and you gotta get on working group instead. Anyway, I'm
We
just
should do a working group for study all the studies that we did.
exactly.
Nah.
And then you put it on the shelf, and then nobody refers to it if they don't like the outcomes, right? I'm sorry, I'm just being
No, I
critical
understand.
because-
Hopefully, we come to some direction, and we definitely want to revisit the renewable fuels production tax credit going into next session. So anyway, we can kind of consolidate
But you can do
all the
that
minds.
without this working group. You can do everything you said without a working group, right?
We could. I think there was a level of conversations that we would still need to have with the Hawaii State Energy Office in terms of the level of
And you
incentives.
can do that without having a working group, right?
We could.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Energy Office? Mark, so what renewable liquid fuels do we already produce in Hawaii? And what more can you do to increase the production?
Well, the most effective and so far cost-effective and environmentally positive has been the work of Pacific Biodiesel and producing essentially a form of biodiesel that meets environmental goals and has also been cost-effective because they use waste oil. They have announced plans to ramp up production using some locally based biofuels, so that'll be important to see if that bears out in terms of cost effectiveness. So there isn't much more in terms of local production.
But so for the timing of the report, do you think that an update can be made by the beginning of the 2025 legislative session and a final report completed by December 1st of 2025?
It's an ambitious timeframe, but keeping it narrowed to questions about what would be the economic impact of further local production through PAR, for example, would help keep it on track. If it became too broad of a discussion of things like, I think as Senator Mercado Kim accurately stated, there are a lot of studies out there, but if we try to focus on things that we perhaps don't have completed, that we could be completed in that timeframe, like what would be the economic impact of additional local production from PAR, then I think that would be useful.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, moving on to SCR 134/SR 116. Requesting Hawaii State Energy Office to conduct a study of the different energy consumption sectors to determine which may be most quickly and cost effectively decarbonize traditional public investments in combustion-free alternatives. First testifier, Hawaii State Energy Office.
Chair DeCoy, Vice Chair O'Brien, members of the committee, Mark Lick for the Hawaii State Energy Office. We stand on our testimony with comments on SRC 134 and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Sorry. Hang on. Sorry. Next up, Melody Ajuha testifying for Environmental Caucus on Zoom. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Melody Aduha. I'm testifying on behalf of the Environmental Caucus of the Democratic Party. We feel that a study such as this would be compelling for several reasons. Number one, our climate goals. Since our climate goals are coming up, we would like to be 100% renewable energy by 2045. So this study would be helpful in that regard. The economic efficiency, such a study can help identify the most cost-effective opportunities for decarbonization, ensuring that public funds are used efficiently. Number three, technological feasibility. The study can assess the technological feasibility of decarbonizing different sectors, taking into account the availability and maturity of combustion-free alternatives. That is our goal, is to see that these alternatives are combustion-free. Before policy planning, the findings of this study can inform policy planning and decision-making, helping to prioritize actions and investments in line with Hawaii's decarbonization goals. And number five, for stakeholder engagement. The study process can also provide an opportunity for stakeholder engagement, ensuring that the views of different sectors, communities, and interest groups are taken into account. And then number six, job creation. Decarbonization efforts can lead to job creation in the clean energy sector, contributing to economic development. Therefore, this type of study is compelling for Hawaii to do as we transition to a decarbonized, sustainable, and resilient energy future. Thank you very much for this opportunity to testify. Thank you. I'm available for questions.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Abby Simmons testifying for Democratic Party of Hawaii in support. Mike Ewald testifying for Energy Justice Network on Zoom.
Aloha, Chair DeCoit, Vice Chair Wakai, and honorable committee members. Representing Energy Justice Network, but also speaking in support of this resolution are Kukuana Aina and the Hawaii Clean Power Task Force. We support this because there are various energy sources that are already being subsidized by the state or being mandated or being proposed to be subsidized. And the idea is to ensure that taxpayer funds are best spent on the sectors that already have technologies that are ready, where we have a ways to go before we reach 100%. Right now we have, for example, the Renewable Portfolio Standard for electricity that says 100% renewable energy by 2045. But other sectors are electrifying over time, and that's the best way to clean them up. The transportation sectors, the heating sectors, is to get them onto the electricity sector and ultimately move that 2045, like meet that deadline as soon as possible, hopefully even sooner than 2045. So this study, our hope is that it can inform the legislature for next year on how to best focus precious state funds on the sectors that are already able to be decarbonized most quickly and most cost effectively, rather than put money into what some might consider to be transition fuels, where you have to spend money on things that are a little bit more experimental or a little more costly, and then have to get away from them and do another switch later, which is just not the best use of funds. So we're hoping this study is helpful and informative, and we support this measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify on this measure? Seeing none, any questions? Senator Kim.
Mark? So, according to your testimony, you said that you folks already prepared and submitted to the legislature in December of 2023 a detailed report addressing the desired deliverables of this resolution.
Yes, Senator, we did, and
What happened to this?
well, it has been submitted, and we are actually working on a number of there were 30 recommendations that came from that, and we think we adequately covered the ground that is being discussed in this resolution.
Which brings my point. I study everything, and then we get another resolution, let's study it again, or let's study it for more stuff. And this other study sits there, I'm not sure what's going on, what's happening. Were you consulted at all about this, about doing this study?
No, it appeared, and we commented on it, And as I pointed out, and I think consistent with your comments, this may be a case in which it duplicates what's already been done.
Chair for, Senator Favela.
You can, sorry,
Yes,
for some reason I got all choked up with all this confusion, but anyway, maybe we gotta study my throat. Anyway, going forward, the problem I have with this is that this study will eliminate other experiences of renewable energy that is firm energy, like hydrogen and other technologies coming in. I read the inaccuracy of a waste-to-energy plant. What we have in Hawaii is not a waste-to-energy plant. It's a plant that burns nothing. A waste-to-energy plant would be firm energy and burns everything to little to no CO2 emissions. This study is not gonna help us further our firm energy goals in other areas than just not firm solar farms, useless windmills, all of these other things that they've been using now. By 2045, majority of these solar farms or PV farms is gonna have to be changed out. And some of the land that they have, they only have 25-year or less leasing on the land. So doing a study like this, I don't know, because you can eliminate all the things that will be good to get us on that 2045 goal by eliminating these options and going to a study to eliminate the whole idea of a true waste-to-energy plant, a hydrogen plant, and other sources is, to me, inconsistency in what we actually want to go. This is a narrow-minded kind of study that will only going to go to a selective few. But again, we're not going to get off of fossil fuel. We're not going to get off of the 2045 if we continue to go this way and put PV, because PV is not the solution to firm energy. You heard Hawai'i Electric, even them looking for have a energy plant now that's going to do firm energy. They're coming to waste to energy and putting out an RSP for trying to see is somebody willing to build that plant. So that's going to be contradicting all of the efforts that everybody's doing here in trying to get that. Because Senator De La Cruz talk about firm energy all the time, and you know that. Give an example. When had that wind and the rain and everything, our side of the island was stuck. We had no energy. So again, having one study like that to eliminate certain category of renewable energy is, to me, would be a waste of a study. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Next up, SCR 171, requesting the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism to propose legislation that establishes tax credit for firm renewable electricity generation. You had something to do with this or what?
No.
Okay, first one up is, Hawai'i Energy Office. Mark.
Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Mark Glick, Chief Energy Officer. We stand on our testimony in support of SCR 171, but also wanted to point out that we offer an amendment, and that amendment, just for clarification, refers to page 2, lines 9 and 10, in case that wasn't made clear in our testimony. Be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Hawai'i Electric, Greg Shimokawa, in person.
Afternoon, Chair DeCoit, Vice Chair Wakai, members of the committee. Greg Shimokawa for Hawai'i Electric. I'm testifying in support of the resolutions and just noting, Hawai'i Electric is in support and we recognize the importance of firm generation. So available for questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, Kiko Bukowski for International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 1260 in person. In support, James Forrest Pacific Biodiesel Technologies in support, Glenn Kagamita, individual in support. And that's all on this measure. Anybody else wishing to testify in support? Any questions, committee? Seeing none, moving on to SCR 172, SR 148, requesting the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism to collaborate with universities in the state to convene the Hawaii Creative Innovation Group. First one up, testifying on behalf of DBED, Georgia Skinner. Georgia.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Georgia Skinner, Head of Creative Industries. We think this is a very important resolution. We really want to see not only our film industry, but our local music, culture, and design and fashion industries grow. We have a very good strategy and a baseline now. We think that this really helps us to bring together exactly what we need as a roadmap, and then come back to the ledge next year with something very specific on connecting middle school all the way through career.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here for any questions.
Thanks. Next up, Vasilis Sirmas, VP Research and Innovation in support. Glenn Kagamita, individual also in support. Anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none. Any questions? Seeing none. We're gonna recess real quick for decision making. Thank you. Thank you. So decision making on our 1 p.m. agenda. First reso on the agenda is SCR 97/SR 82, requesting Hawaii State Energy Office to convene a renewable liquid fuels working group to study local production, development, and incentives for renewable liquid fuels. Recommendation is to pass as an ST1, adding to the working group a representative from a local fuel importer with statewide logistical supply and distribution capability, as suggested by Island Energy testimony, and others as invited by the chair and as suggested by the HESO testimony. Make reports ready by next year for the legislative session of 2025. And then making technical amendments needed for clarity and consistency. Any discussion?
Question, so you're amending the resolution where it says a final report, recommendations is due no later than December 1, 2025? Because right now it says 2026.
January, what's it there? No, making the report ready by January 1st before the legislative session of 2025.
Okay, so a whole year earlier than what it says in the resolution, right?
Yeah, what was that?
Recommendation. No,
Good.
It'll just be 6 months.
Yeah, well, isn't the kingdom that fast?
Well, that was the amendment
Oh.
that
Well, you guys need 1 year. Was it the 1 year?
1 year.
Was it?
yeah, but again, this is a working group. We already have stuff. What do you have to really do? If you wait until 2026, I mean, nothing's gonna
Yeah.
happen till possibly 2027.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
then
this
this will
way-
be outdated already.
But you said you get most of the thing together, so it shouldn't take you that long.
Yeah, we promised
Yeah.
to consolidate.
Okay.
You can stop at that.
So you go to January 1st of next year, 2025. Yeah. Any other discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
Okay, we're voting on two resolutions, SCR 97 and SR 82. Chair DeCoy votes yes, votes yes. Senator Fukunaga, excuse, Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Favela,
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next resolution on the agenda is SCR 134/SR 116, requesting Hawaii State Energy Office to conduct a study of the different energy consumption sectors to determine which may be most quickly and cost-effectively decarbonized through additional public investments in combustion-free alternatives. Recommendation is to pass as an SD1, making technical amendments needed for clarity and consistency. Any discussion, members?
Madam Chair, based on my questions and discussion, the fact that State Office already has prepared and submitted, I don't know that this is necessary, so I'm going to vote in opposition.
Okay, thank you.
Me too.
Okay, thank you. Recommendation is to defer indefinitely. Thank you. Next, SCR 171/SR 147, requesting the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism to propose legislation that establishes tax credits for firm renewable electricity generation. Recommendation is to pass as an SD1 from the HESO testimony, page 2, lines 9 and 10, legislation that establishes incentives for firm renewable electricity generation. Committee members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga is excused. Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next resolution on the agenda is SCR 172/SR 148, requesting the Department of Business, Economic Development, Tourism to collaborate with universities in the state to convene the Hawaii Creative Innovation Group. Recommendation is to pass as an SD1, page 2, line 35. Member selection will insert language to clarify that private sector members will be invited by the debate representative and making technical amendments needed for clarity and consistency. Committee members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga is excused. Senator Kim.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And with that, we adjourn. Mahalo.